people would agree that Steve Jobs made a very good decision to promote Tim Cook. You guys know that Apple is very fancy, it's fancy stuff, and almost one of the highest price products. But maybe only very few people know that Apple is very strong at operation management. That's the reason Tim Cook was promoting. If we talk about electronic industry, we can name that like Apple, Samsung. Okay, we can't name too much name because many go to bankruptcy or almost bankrupt, like Motorola, HTC, BlackBerry. You can name that, Nokia. But among all of them, Apple is number one in operation management. Do you know that? Probably not, right? You know they are number one in R&D. You know they are number one in marketing, but they are number one in operation. So you can see their profits. You can see their profits from the income statement. It's a huge profit, a lot of cash on hand. It's not just because the revenue pass. We know that they have large revenue in that, but their cost is the lowest in the industry. So in my opinion, in many people's opinion, professional opinion, in the long term, maybe many companies like Samsung, they will catch up with Apple. Apple have to cut their price. As I personal opinion, I think they are charging overpriced. Even they cut the price, they're still the best in the industry. Why? The cost is the lowest. That's Apple's strategy. They can do that. They can ignore that operation management as well. In the current position, they can do it, but they never did that. They spend a lot of time and money employer to concentrate on operation management to save the cost. So Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, if you do very good job in operation management, Tim Cook is the role model. The CEO of Apple is this background. I hope this provides some motivation for you guys. Doesn't matter. Finance industry is really matter for what's your background, from Ivy League or some other pretty school. But for this field, as long as you can save money for me. Arizona State's very decent university. USCP is also decent university. You can become a CEO in the future, definitely. Because company have to switch to concentrate on the cost part. Okay. Any questions or comments before I blah 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 to the chapter 1?
When you say focus on the cost, you mean like the cost of whatever the product is, like everything that goes into making that?
That's right.
So they, okay.
So we'll talk about some other costs, but you can name that, like the purchase cost. Right? First, you have to purchase raw material, where you have to negotiate or save some shipping costs. And second, we'll talk about inventory costs. When the products or raw material, some components stay in the middle or before it's finished, that's an inventory cost. We can talk about employment costs. Right? Even we help 8 people. How can we use these 8 people 100% of their efficiency? That's how to schedule their working routine, right? That's all about the cost. When I talk about transportation costs, right? Transport from here to customers, truckload. We'll talk about like the forecast, demand forecast, to make sure we satisfy our customer demand, but without extra inventory. That's all the costs we're talking about operation management. Definitely, operation management can't cover every cost in company. Financial costs, marketing costs, that's covered by other departments. But our major tool or goal of operation is the cost. I will talk about how to use operations tools to create revenue. That's a new topic, but I will talk about that. But traditionally speaking, still now our major concentration is on the cost. Clear? Okay, now let's go to introduction to the operations management. What is operation? So it's the part of a business organization responsible for producing goods or service. Just pay attention here. We're talking about not just manufacturing, but all the service industry. Okay. How to define operation management? It's the management of system or process, as one student has pointed out at the beginning of this class. It's system or process creates goods or provides service. So it's the system or process we're talking about. So these slides show the fundamental thing we're talking the rest of this semester is about the balance between the supply and demand. It's almost every function we talk about in operation management is to reach this goal. the final equation, which is supply equal to demand. Okay. First scenario, when our supply is greater than demand, everybody know that we have actual inventory. We probably have to have actual employee to handle the inventory, and waste a lot of money. The other scenario is when supply is less than demand. It's a problem, right? Our customers, they are not happy. When they come to Walmart, they can't find the stuff. They go to Harris Teeter or Food Lion, right? So that's the problem. But sometimes it can be good when supply less than demand. Give me some example. When supply is less than demand, which is good.
You can charge higher prices.
Charge higher price. Which company did that? That company continues to do that.
Oh, is it De Beers, Diamond?
Oh, Diamond, yeah.
Well,
Diamond definitely they did that.
artificially
Yeah.
restrict.
Cartier or Tiffany, they did that. Another company everybody have mentioned, we have spent 10 minutes on this company.
The gas station?
No, not really gas station. I don't think so, but sometimes they get a shortage, that's for sure. But I believe their shortage because they really have shortage, lots of strategy. I talk about strategy. You want your supply or your inventory can't satisfy your demand. Some company did that. We talk about this company. Apple, right? Every time you have a new iPhone,
Oh yeah.
5, 6. Last year, when iPhone 6 come out, my wife, she literally stand up until 3 a.m. to refresh the AT&T websites to try to book the iPhone 6 Plus. But still, she received that after six weeks. Because I have a friend gets ordered that 1 hour before my wife. They received 2 weeks early. Well, that's their strategy. It's very popular. I don't understand so why you want to stand up for like until 3 a.m. just forget that. I will wait for six months, probably get a discount if I want to get iPhone products. But sorry, so that's the reason I still use iPhone 5S. She is using the 6 Plus. Okay, doesn't matter for me. So that strategy is very good for some company, but for most companies don't want to use this strategy, right? Or a grocery store, who cares? Your chicken wings is much better than Walmart's one? Probably not, right? If you can't satisfy my stomach now, I will go to some other store to get the chicken wings. Wow. It looks like iPhone 6, right? So, usually, now we have discussed some exceptions, but usually our goal for operation management or even for organizations, we want to balance between the supply and the demand. But can we reach this goal? Can we reach this goal? Supply equal to demand? Can we?
Yes.
Yeah? Sometimes. But most time, can we? No. Why we can't reach this goal?
Competitors?
Hmm?
Different competitors?
Difficult competitors. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, the market changes every day. You
Yeah.
can't predict it unless you just have really good information.
Competitors, that's the outside factor we can't control. Market change also random factor we can't control. Like here, can you forecast the weather for next Monday? You can have 90%, 99% accurate, but still,
Yeah.
something will happen, right? Also will control. Same.
Can't supply when supply is greater than demand, can't that be good too? Or a
For
strategy?
most company, we'll discuss that, but this can be good too, because definitely you want to make sure you don't have a shortage for most company, right? You are not Apple, so you don't like this second scenario. But definitely for most company, we want to reach this. Okay. But as we discussed, it's really hard to reach this. Sometimes you are so lucky 1 week or 1 day you reach this, but most time you can't reach. So that's the next question is for your opinion, address your question. So if you have to choose between scenario 1 and scenario 2, because we know that it's almost impossible to reach the equation. If you are in an organization, you have to choose either supply greater than demand or supply less than demand. Which one will you choose? Raise your hand if you prefer the first scenario, supply greater than demand.
I think it depends on your product or service.
Yes, it
Because
depends
with
on.
somebody
But-
like Apple, you would want to choose supply less than demand, but someone like Dollar Tree or something like that, you probably would want to choose supply.
Even in Apple, it depends on product. What about iPhone 4 or iPhone 5? You still want supply less than demand? No, right? But for your latest products, especially when you just begin for purchase, right? Open the order. Even now, I don't think iPhone 6 now you want to supply less than demand. So it's really a not so common strategy, but it's definitely used for some company or some events. But I would say for most situation, I still ask you guys, okay, which will you prefer? Scenario 1 or 2?
1.
1.
2.
2.
2.
2. 3. You definitely prefer. I also prefer 3. I want to live in a perfect world, but we know that it's not our preference and we can't control, right? But 1 or 2, most likely, if you prefer, you can change your some strategy. You can reach that most. I first want to ask the people's.
Sorry. What about like made to order stuff like that, or JIT? Is that
Make to order and JIT, you think about even make to order, you have to prepare raw material. That's right. You make to order, that's in perfect world. In ideal situation, you make to order, it's okay. You receive order, you begin from zero. You begin to procure your raw material. You begin to assemble a component and then ship out. But I would say for most companies, you is make to order, they have some raw material. Maybe not all of them ready on hand. It's still, you have something ready, so that's your decision. Whether you want to have a lot of raw material on hand or not. It's really well to make to order is coming from scratch, from my experience. It's still, you think about, like for example, many companies claim it's make to order, but still, JIT, very good discussion. We'll have that JIT, that's, he's talking about JIT. Anybody know what does JIT mean? JIT?
Just in time.
Just in time, right? JIT is a great idea raised by Toyota, right? It's a great idea, just in time or lean serial, zero inventory. That's great. But even we talk about zero inventory, doesn't mean you have zero raw material. You understand the difference? Zero inventory means zero inventory unfinished good. For example, you don't have a car show here, right? You don't have a airplane ready for you to purchase. But that doesn't mean you don't have the, how do you say, the parts of the car, like brake or the painting parts. Most likely you already have some in some other store. You just need to assemble them together.
so? Which one would that fall under scenario wise?
It's still your choice, right? Raw material, where you want to have lots of raw material ready or just a little raw material ready. Okay. But so I first want to ask a student who prefer the second scenario. What's your reason to prefer the second scenario? Supply less than demand.
Yeah, I just try to have less supply, kind of keep the brand name going, the quality.
You should go to Apple. That's my suggestion. But for many other companies, they will say, okay, we fight a lot for our customers. How can you disappoint my customers, right? Why you would prefer the first scenario?
Just because even though it could cost more to keep the things in supply, it helps your brand name and it allows you to I'd rather be able to support a customer and supply something to a customer than not.
I think they both make sense, right? It depends, as we have discussed. It depends which industry, definitely. But from my personal observation, most companies they would prefer the first scenario. It's obvious because we only know Apple or very few name like Tiffany or Louis Vuitton, Chanel. That's girls must know that's brand name, right? So Louis Vuitton, Chanel, they can do that. Hermes. Well, the luxury purse, or luxury car, luxury diamond, luxury iPhone 6 Plus. Don't know what is luxury, but definitely they use this strategy. Most product we use, our shirts, our chicken wings, our bottled waters, if you provide supply less than demand, a vending machine have many students just want to hit the vending machine to get stuff out because it's out of stock. Right? People get angry about that. Right? So most companies, most industry, most products, if we can't reach the third scenario, which is almost true, many of them prefer to get at least a little bit higher than the demand to make sure we don't disappoint our customers so frequently. As we have said, that it depends. Okay. But our goal, remember, we want to approach this as close as possible. We'll spend the whole semester, maybe the whole life, well, if you are doing business, you try to approach this as close as possible. 1% difference, 0.1% difference, 0.01% difference. That's our goal. Right? Okay, that's basic function. We have talked about marketing, operations, and finance. I also extended the discussion. We talk about our past. It's not a fancy name, operation management, operation guy. Okay, it's not fancy as well, right? But we definitely create profits. We create profits for the company. Supply chain. Okay. Have you guys heard about supply chain before?
Yes.
Supply chain before? First question. Who can tell me what's the difference between operation management and supply chain management? Or maybe no difference, just your opinion. Operation management and supply chain management.
One is planning and one is execution.
Not really. In fact, they both include the plan and the execution. Yeah. That's right. The one point that their plan and execution is very important for operation management and also for supply chain.
Supply chain has to do with the delivering of the service or good. And operation is more so geared towards like building it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, but I'm not sure whether others understand how you are talking about, but I agree with you. That's right.
I'm just gonna take a shot at this, but maybe supply chain management is part of operations management.
Great.
Like, operations management is bigger than supply chain.
Great. In fact, I totally agree with you. Jacob, any input?
Yeah, I was gonna roughly say the same thing. Supply chain is just producing and delivering, while like operations is like running the business. I mean, it includes all that up there. So.
Very good discussion. First, I want to say supply chain management, traditionally speaking, even nowadays, theoretically, is a subset of operation management. Okay. But we heard more and more supply chain management. Well, we already heard enough in the past 50 years of operation management, but in the past 10 or 20 years, we heard more form of supply chain management. I will discuss why. But first, supply chain management is a subset of operation management. So operation management already covers supply chain management. You think about operation management, we talk about from beginning, raw material, until delivered to the customer. That's the whole process, operation management. But traditionally, Blad said operation management, and Jacob also mentioned, operation focus on in-house job. And how we operate to make the product, to provide service in-house, right? We focus on, that means it doesn't cover supply chain. Supply chain focus most on, delivery, transportation, and collaborates with your customers or your supplier. So it's more about the outside job. If you think about nowadays, many companies, you can't do all the job by yourself, right? You have your supplier, you have your distributor has a retailer, and finally with your customers. Very few company has the vertical supply chain. We talk about vertical, which means from beginning until the end, you control by yourself, right? You have every screw you produce by yourself until you sell the car to your customers. Ford usually did that. Henry Ford is the founder of Ford. 100 years ago, when Henry Ford founded Ford, he has this idea. He said, I want to control each piece of my car, Ford, from the screw until the sales channel to the customer. So that's 100 years ago they did that. Very successful. But nowadays, it's hard and also it's not wise to do that. Why you bother to create every single piece of your car? Why you just let dealers take care of your sales instead of you have your own selling store of your Ford? Right? So nowadays you have to collaborate with different partners in the supply chain. That's the reason supply chain management become more and more important, especially given the background of globalization. We have our partners nowadays around the world. Right? Any product you mentioned this. iPhone, another idea. Why Apple is very strong supply chain? iPhone, last year I read the newspaper, I forgot iPhone 6. iPhone 6, Apple's products, they have components from 16 different countries. 16, just iPhone. If you can't handle supply chain management very well to deal with different suppliers, and supplier deal with their supplier, you probably will mess up with your iPhone 6 quality control problem, and then you will ruin your brand. But we know iPhone's product is very reliable. Even they have components from 16 different countries, they're still very reliable. That's the reason nowadays supply chain management attracts more and more attention, which I did that before for supply chain consultants. Require lots of technicals and also communication skills and different background. So if you want to pursue a career in this field, I would say it's a very bright field, supply chain management for you to pursue. That's my personal suggestion. Okay. So, in general speaking, it's a supply chain. From supplier, direct supplier, yourself, producer, distributor, final customer. You can add some middle player here, like how do you say, retailer store. Here some like agents. Well, in my opinion, and also it's not just a chain, it's a network. It's not just a straight chain. You have a lot of players in the system, like Apple did. Right? So it's really complex. So that's the reason why nowadays supply chain management attracts a lot of attention, and usually can get very good payments if you get a job like supply chain analyst or supply chain coordinator in the company. You will get very decent payments, even for entry level. Okay, so unfortunately, I can only spend one chapter, which is chapter 15, in this class for supply chain management. We have one chapter that will cover probably before Thanksgiving. We'll play a game. When we will go to that chapter, we'll let you know what supply chain really mean for industry. For MBA in UNC Pembroke, we have an individual course of supply chain management. We have operation management, MBA level, and supply chain management. I taught both of these two courses before. And this year we have a reformation of MBA curriculum. I'm not sure whether you guys know that. So this year our enrollment increased a lot. 47 or 50 new MBA students. And we have a lot of reformation. The first one is we have the pure online program. So you can finish your MBA degree by only enrolling the course online. We will teach all the courses in the Sand Hill Community College. So even you live in Raleigh or in the Sand Hills area, you don't need to come to Pembroke. You can finish your degree there. And another big change is that we added 2 new concentration in our MBA program. One is financial service. Second is supply chain management. So for MBA, I teach a lot on MBA level too. But what I want to mention is that the reason we pay a lot of attention, not just in UNC Pembroke, on supply chain, because that attracts a lot of young, talented people in this field, and they lead more and more people in supply chain management. And definitely, I will cover this content in our course, even though it definitely is not enough, just one chapter, but I will cover. Okay. Transformation process. So one student also mentioned before that operation management is all about transformation from inputs, from land, labor, capital information. When we want to have a good control and the transformation, finally we can provide some quality, very good quality goods or satisfied service for our customers. Okay, that's it for the operation management. Okay, that is the discussion for manufacturing and the service industry. Think about many industry is very traditionally manufacturing industry, such as automobile industry, as manufacturing. Even though still they provide some service. If you ask, okay, how to get a high mileage per gallon, they will give you some opinion or advising. That is not the manufacturing, but yeah. Home modeling, most parts is for manufacturing. Computer repair, restaurant. Restaurant is a very good example. It's like half-half or mixture, because restaurant first is provide goods. Which good you get from restaurant? Which goods you will get from restaurant? Is food, right? But they also provide service. What service you will get? Yeah. It depends on which restaurant. It's a McDonald's, you get minimal service, but in some very decent restaurant, you get very good service. Definitely, the tips is also very expensive, right? And like surgery teaching, and here at university, I'm doing this job, right? I would say my job is most likely a service industry. I do provide some goods like even electronic one, like notes, slides, exam, I do provide it, but most parts I provide is for service to deliver the knowledge, to open the discussion, to do that. That's my opinion. That we are doing the service industry. So, in my opinion, that's because we are doing the service. You guys think about the traditional service industry. Customer is the god, right? Customer is the god in traditional service industry. I have to admit that in the education industry, it's not the same because we are not the traditional service industry. We are the faculty. You are the student. Student should respect faculty, and definitely faculty should also respect the student. But still, we are the service industry. So anything you need help, you should let us know, let me know. Because you pay the tuition fee, it's a service. We provide a service. You are the customers. You are definitely a student, but you are also the customers. So it's very important, let us know. Okay, so that's just my personal opinion for the service industry. So, manufacturing is good oriented. It's very important you get a finished good in good quality and correct quantity and deliver on time. But service is active oriented. I want to ask you guys the last question before we finish today's class. In your opinion, for operation management, which field will be more challenging? Is that manufacturing industry or service industry? Service industry. Service? Everybody agree?
What was the question?
Which one's more
For manufacturing industry compared to the service industry, when we talk about operation management, which industry will be more challenging for us? Service industry. Okay. Why do you guys think service industry are more challenging?
That's where you face your problems.
Deal with people. You don't like people, right? No, you like people, but people is hard to handle than products. Yeah. What else?
Hard to find numbers for it to have just something that you can actually look at.
Could you explain?
Like with goods, it's a lot easier to have like data for it and stuff like that. Where it's services, sometimes it's
That's true. Yeah.
it's not easy to.
It's hard to quantify, like your performance, your historical performance or whatever is hard to quantify. Like say customer, whether you are satisfied. You say I'm satisfied. But like an Asian person, sometimes you say you're satisfied, you say okay, in fact you are not satisfied. That's Asian style. Well, sometimes we want to keep our self-esteem polite. We say okay, it's good, but maybe totally different opinion. But manufacturing most likely can know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, where you could possibly measure that is through feedback from the customers. To, for example, I go to Sport Clips to get my haircut sometimes, and they always ask me to fill out the survey. So they could just send it.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. That's survey, but still, survey is not the same as quantitative. Sometimes we say like teaching evaluation. Right? At the end of the semester, you will give me a teaching evaluation. If two people give me both the highest score 1. It doesn't mean they have the same satisfaction level with me, right? Let's give 4, right? 2 students give me 4, and those 4, 2. 2 is the second kind of 2, which means they are kind of satisfied, but they still have something disappointing for my class. But can you say these 2 people has the same satisfaction or disappointment level with my class with Charles? Probably not, right? But for manufacturing, it's kind of easy to say that from sales data, from other objective measurements, but for service, really hard. And it will make us hard for forecasting. I don't know, you say you're satisfied, but you never come back again, right? You say you're not satisfied, you come back every week. What's the problem, right? So, inventory. We don't know human beings, right? We don't understand. Sometimes everybody wants to have haircuts for whatever reason. And the other day, nobody wants to have a haircut. So we don't understand. Inventory scheduling is definitely a problem, right? Service is that usually we need a lot of employees. Waiters, waitress, it's hard for scheduling. You can name that. So that's make us challenge for service. Okay, that's it for today's class. We'll see you guys on next Monday.